Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I've got a little makeup tutorial in today's video. Now I've recently really gotten into colour season analysis. Now if you don't know what that is, I'll give a little bit of an insight as to it. Now I'm not an expert in it by any means, I'm just really going to talk about what I've learnt from it. Now with colour season analysis, it's all about looking at your skin, your hair, your eyes, your skin tone, your colouring to determine which of the 4 seasons your colour palette falls into. Now on a real basic level, if you have a cool skin tone, if you have cool colouring, so you see more sort of blue based colours, more icy colours, then you would be either a summer or a winter. But if you have more of a warm skin tone, if you suit colours like rich warm browns, golds, then you would fall into either spring or autumn. Now there are a couple of different varieties of the colour season analysis. You have a 12 season analysis where your 4 seasons are further split down into 3 subcategories, or a 16 season colour analysis where those 4 seasons are split down into 4 subcategories. Now from what I've learnt and what I've kind of researched, I think most of the information out there is about the 12 colour season analysis, which is what I'm basing my result on and sort of this video and the information on. Now I have a warm complexion, warmer colours suit me better, and for a while I used to think I leaned more towards spring. However, I recently paid for a colour season analysis. I submitted a few pictures of myself and the result came back was that I was an autumn. Now unfortunately the result I got didn't actually say which specific category of autumn I fit into. However, the results gave me about 80 different colour palettes within my season that I suited. So if I wanted to go clothes shopping, these were the colours that would suit me the best. Now having looked at the 3 different subcategories of autumn, which is soft, warm and deep, those colours lend itself more towards the soft autumn category. So I think that's what I am. I'm an autumn. I've been classified as an autumn, but I think out of the 3, I think I'm more of a soft autumn. So what I want to do in today's video is do a little makeup tutorial for the soft autumn. And the information I'm following is from the Concept Wardrobe. I will link their website down below. The website is brilliant. It gives loads of information about the different colour seasons, and I'm pretty sure as well it provides information about the Kibi body typing. I'm also quite into that at the moment as well, and I'm pretty sure when I've done my research on that I have gotten that from the Concept Wardrobe as well. So if you're interested in any of that, go and check out their website. It's got loads of fantastic information. So I've done my skincare and I have got my Bobbi Brown Face Base Primer on, so I will zoom you in and we can do this little tutorial. Also, just want to say before we get started, I'm not a makeup artist, so please do not judge the technique. I'm not that great at makeup, but I will try my best. So on the Concept Wardrobe website, it says that the soft autumn best makeup style is very soft, muted and natural. It's gentle and understated, and that is very much how I like my everyday makeup to look. I'm very lazy and very simple, very easy when it comes to doing my makeup. I don't like to wear loads of bright colours, loads of kind of like harsh contouring, nothing bold and over the top. I like a real minimal, pared back, natural and soft looking makeup. So that is what I'm going to be doing in today's video, and I'm very happy that that also is the recommended makeup for a soft autumn. So it's starting off with a foundation then. Now whenever I've been swatched to a foundation shade in the store, I've always been swatched to the neutral shades. However, nobody is a pure neutral. You will lend either cool or warm, and I lend warm, and soft autumns do have a neutral warm complexion, so that's another tick as to why I think I am a soft autumn. And the style of foundation is meant to be a satin finish, and looking at the foundations I have, the one that provides a satin finish is my little Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade 4.25. So the recommendation with foundation is to avoid dewy and radiant foundations. It's about keeping things fairly matte with your foundation for soft autumns, and that is how I like my foundation to look. I don't like really dewy foundations on me. I don't like a really dewy base, because on me it just looks very glowy, very oily. I look like an oil slick. So I do prefer to go for more of a matte foundation over a dewy one. And with foundation, just go for whatever shade suits you, but it's more about the finish with the foundation rather than the exact shade, because everybody's shade is going to be different. I am going to put a bit of my Bobbi Brown under eye corrector in light bisque under my eyes because I do have some bad dark circles going on today. Concealer follows similar principle to foundation in that it should be slightly yellow and have more of a satin effect, so I'm just using some Fenty Concealer under my eyes and on any blemishes. Now, powder wasn't really mentioned on the website, but as the overall effect of the makeup should be more matte than heavily dewy and radiant, it implies that you do want to powder to reduce some shine. So that is what I'm doing. I'm just gonna powder my T-zone and then just lightly on the rest of my face, but nothing too much because I don't want to get rid of a bit of natural radiance. Bronzer next. Now, bronzer is meant to be a great product for soft autumns because it helps to provide some sort of natural glow. It brings out sort of the warmth to the complexion that a soft autumn has. But according to the website, we can't handle a lot of shimmer and warmth, so it's best to not go for real orangey bronzers and bronzers that have a lot of shimmer in. So the recommended shades are more of a pinkier, dustier bronze or a golden peanut shade. Now I'm going to go for more of like a golden peanut shade, which is my Fenty powder bronzer, and it's in the shade Shady Biz. And I'm going to use a bigger, fluffier brush as well because the key word with the soft autumn is soft. It's no real harsh lines on your cheeks. Everything is very soft and well blended, and a bigger, fluffier brush like this, which is just an Avon face brush, should hopefully give that effect. Blushes next, and again blushes should be very soft, so a russet or a peachy pink, nothing too intense or very vibrant or very shimmery. A light shimmer is okay, but nothing too sparkly. And again, the blusher needs to be blended in very well, very soft, no real harsh lines or definition. And then some of the shades that are recommended are shades like Tea Rose, Apricot Blush, Lobster Bisque or Faded Rose. And what I really like with the Concept Wardrobe website actually is that they provide you with some colours here, so you can get out your makeup and you can match them to these and see if they correspond and if it's a good match. And that's what I've done with my blushes, and I've found a couple of little palettes from Laura Geller that have some nice blushes in here, like this one here. So a muted, warm, dusky rose shade, which I think would look quite lovely. And then also I have a shade here called Apricot Delight. So this is more of a peachy shade, but again it's quite muted, but you can tell it has some warmth in there. I'm going to start off with that Apricot Delight shade, and I'm going to use the same brush that I used for my bronzer. And the trend at the moment is to still have that harsh line of blusher on your cheekbones, but I much prefer for it to be more blended and to go more onto the apples of the cheeks. So my preferences in terms of style of makeup and colours really do fit in with the recommendations for soft autumn, which I thought was quite interesting. And I think I will actually go over the top with just a little bit of the other blusher, that pink shade. Now, nothing is mentioned in terms of highlighter specifically, but knowing that soft autumns don't really sort of lend too well to a lot of shimmer, I'm not going to do any highlighter, which actually I quite like because I don't really like highlighter. It's arguably one of my least favourite makeup items to wear. So moving on to eyeshadow next, and the more neutral shades are the best options to go for a soft autumn. So that's shades of brown, some real muted oranges, taupes, beiges and khaki colours. And neutral shades are my favourite types of eyeshadow to wear. I love me a neutral eyeshadow palette like this one here from Vieve. This is the Vieve Essential Eyeshadow Palette, so neutral selection, but they do lend to be a bit warm. If you do like to wear other shades of eyeshadow though, you do have options like soft reds pinks and purples, which the palette, like the Vieve Muse palette, this is a real sort of like toned down pinky purple palette. Again, quite warm but very soft, very muted. There's also Modern Renaissance from ABH, so you have your more neutral shades here, but then you have some reds and pinks and more sort of like russet shades up the top there. And then you also have the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette here as well. Maybe proceed with caution for these darker shades up here, and maybe sort of like stick to this end of the palette here as well. But you can go for some blues and greens, and again the website gives you some colour recommendations here, but for this look, because this is going to be a very natural look, I am going to stick with the neutral shades. So I'm going to dip in to the Vieve Essential palette and maybe the Modern Renaissance one. So I'm going to start with Tempera from Modern Renaissance all over the lid. So just a beige shade all over the lid and up to near enough my brow bone. I'm going to use Buff from the Vieve palette, run that through my crease. And I'm going to try to do more of like a rounded eyeshadow rather than a real harsh winged up effect. And then I'm going to add in just a little bit of the shade Delicious just on the outer part of my eye, just to darken it up ever so slightly. And then just get a clean blending brush to blend that darker shade. So it's all still very soft, very muted, nothing too intense. So eyeshadows should be matte. You can go for a slightly shimmery finish. I am just going to put a little bit of Primavera on the lid just for a little bit of shimmer. All I did was just gently dip my finger into the shade and I'm just going to pat a little bit on the lid. I don't want much at all. One dip into that shade is actually enough for both lids. So moving on to eyeliners now, and black is not recommended because it's very dark and it's very harsh for our more gentle muted colouring. Browns are recommended as well as some green and blue shades, and again you do have some selections here on the website. It's recommended you don't go super rich with your eyeliner shades here, more of a sort of like neutral tone is probably best. And the one that I'm going to go for is Cypress Umber, that one here, so a fairly dark brown, but it's not too warm. And I'm just going to push some of this into my upper lash line. Now I'm not a big eyeliner fan, I don't like using liquid liners. Find pencil liners sometimes quite tricky to work with. I much prefer using eyeshadow because it is a lot softer. So again, that's another preference that lends itself to the soft autumn suggestions. I'm going to curl my lashes because next is mascara, and again black isn't really recommended, it's too harsh, too severe. Browns and greys are recommended, but again nothing too warm or too rich, so try to go for more of a neutral shade of grey or brown mascara. So I've got the Eyeko Cocoa Edit Brown Mascara. I've recently really gotten into using a brown mascara over a black one, but this mascara isn't my favourite mascara. It does smudge a little bit. It is a little bit messy to apply. Sorry, my camera battery just died and my backup battery wasn't charged for some reason, so I have had to quickly charge this one up, so it is about half an hour later, so apologies if the setup isn't quite how we left it, but let's get things finished off with the lips. Now with the lips, it's all about going for something very natural, very similar to your own natural lip colour. My lips are naturally a very light blue based pink. Not sure if that's got something to do with my Reynolds, so I'm not really going to go for a colour that's similar to my natural lip, but I am going to keep it neutral by going for something nudie, something kind of browny pink in tone, but it's all about matte. So no shimmers, no glosses, nothing really sparkly. And I'm going to use my MAC lip liner in Oak. And then over the top, I'm going to use my current favourite lipstick, which is by L'Oreal, and it's in the shade 235 Colorish Nude, and it is a fairly neutral pinky rose type of shade, but colours like this, your mauvey pink berry shades that are like your My Lips But Better, so for example Charlotte's Tilbury Pillow Talk, those types of shades are recommended for soft autumns. So just going to apply it like that, and then push it in to the lips and blend it out that way. And there we go, that is the final makeup look. So this is a recommended soft autumn makeup look, which is very neutral, very natural, very soft. There's no real kind of harsh definitions. Everything is blended in together really softly, and the colours are all very neutral. So it's about making the most of the warmth in your skin and going for sort of browns and beiges and peaches and sort of those muted tawny rose shades. If you wanted to go for something a little bit more dramatic, then you can go a bit heavier on the eyes. You can utilise those darker colours within the spectrum as well. For lips, you can maybe go for like a darker brown or some of those more kind of terracotta reds. But this very much is the type of makeup look that I like going for. This really is my kind of everyday makeup that I like to wear. I don't like to wear anything too bright, too bold, too heavy with my makeup, and I love these types of shades as well. So this is the type of makeup that I feel very confident in, very comfortable in, and I feel like me in it. And it's also really interesting, I think, that the recommended makeup for soft autumn is the type of makeup that I'm doing anyway. However, I did initially think I was a spring, so maybe I might film a makeup look for a spring season colour analysis, especially as well because if you do follow the 16 season colour analysis, then there is this kind of controversy that a natural blonde can't be an autumn, but my colour analysis that I paid for was based on the 12 one, which is why I think I was put into the autumn. So I think it will be interesting to do a spring makeup look and see for final, I suppose, whether the autumn makeup look like this is the one that does suit me best. But I very much feel like an autumn with regards to my makeup and the clothes that I currently own. The colours that I own do fit into the autumn palette. So it seems that I have naturally kind of gravitated towards that colour palette without kind of really knowing it. So I hope you found this video interesting or useful or helpful. If you yourself know your colour season, please let me know what you are down below in the comments. If you've got any tips or tricks or any kind of like helpful guides or websites that I should check out around this topic, please let me know as well. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you again soon for my next video. Bye.